guys, how you going? So down BKRsport, we are here ready to chat about the Canterbury Bulldogs and their ability to celebrate where they are right now. I want to do a lot more videos where, we're talking about what's going on in the NRL. Because at the moment, we've kind of just been putting out a vlog every week for the Gold Coast Titans, which has been great, mind you. Don't you worry, it's been great. You can hear my voice still a little bit gone. Spanking the team from up north on the M1 is very good. So go and check that vlog out if you want. But the vlogs have been coming out every single week, but also we've been doing a couple of streams here and there, not as many. So I feel like I have been focusing a lot more on my fitness recently than creating videos and extra content. So I do want to get back into just general discussion videos like this one, where I do want to talk about the Bulldogs, and I do want to say I don't understand why everyone's so upset they're celebrating where they are right now. The Bulldogs are a very polarizing team. The Bulldogs have a team that is good to watch at the moment, defensively sound and can attack at very interesting points. Like, they're not the greatest attacking team, that's for sure. I think they're still in the bottom 4, bottom 5 for attack, whilst they're like second for defense, right? But the point that I'm making here is that their team is enjoyable to watch. But then when it comes to the fans, that's where the real polarizing stuff comes in there. I guess Reed Marty also makes it difficult to watch sometimes, especially when you're playing them, yeah? But the fans are very extravagant and passionate in how they support their club. Now, I do kind of bite back on the notion of most passionate, because obviously you can't tell me that anybody's more passionate than me, and I'm not more passionate than anybody else. I feel like as a collective, they have a lot more passionate people in total. But as a fan base, I would never say that they're the most passionate fan base, because again, you look at me for the Titans, I'm very passionate for my club, and I'm just as passionate. So, there's people that I know from all around the country and in New Zealand that love their team just as much. So that's why I take away the notion of most passionate fan base, but I do say as a collective, as a total, there are probably more passionate fans a part of the club. And what makes it polarizing is that they're very aggressive in the way that they do carry on, right? And they're very aggressive in the way that they do kind of push themselves forward into the media, into the fan bases, and make sure they are heard and make sure they are known. And I do love that. I think they're very good at coming together to really push that notion of where the Bulldogs, we're here, dogs of war kind of mentality. Now, where I draw the line there is the really aggressive people who actually go out of their way to attack and harass. Like, obviously, you guys know my incident at a core stadium last year. It was really unfortunate that I had to deal with, 30, 40 dudes just going at me the entire time. It wasn't banter, it wasn't fun, it wasn't, funny. It was just harassment, right? And I had my situation there. And then we've recently seen Simon, the Raiders drummer, great bloke. Obviously, a couple of the boys, we've put up a video on Instagram defending him. And we've seen him get attacked and harassed and whatnot at Belmore recently when they beat the Raiders 22-18 on the weekend. So, there is a line that needs to be drawn with Dogs fans where you lose the respect there, right? You don't lose the respect for being loud and passionate and crazy. You can support your team however the damn well shit you want, as long as you aren't attacking people and harassing people like you have done for 50 odd years. You are known as this. This is your reputation, right? I know Dogs fans may not like that, but your reputation from outside Dogs fans is that you are aggressive, you are extremely polarizing, and that you do take it too far in regards to the passion, right? This isn't England. We're not in South America. You don't need to fight opposition fans. Look how I carry myself. I would go back and forth banter with Broncos fans and Tigers fans and everyone, every game I go to. It's all good fun. But the only really bad instance, I had one at Broncos a couple of years ago, but the only really bad instance really has been at Dogs game. So the point of the matter is that the reputation of that aggressive nature and the actual hostile nature that turns into, physical or verbal confrontation on a significant level, that's what brings reputation down. But the point of the video today, so I hope the Bulldogs fans understand where I'm coming from there, because that is the truth. It is. Whether you like it or not, it's the truth. The point of the video today is that I'm seeing a lot of non-Bulldogs fans come and say, well, you only won a round 22 game against the Raiders at Belmore. Why are they celebrating as much as they are? Why are they going so crazy in Belmore? And the thing that confuses me is that why are they not allowed to celebrate? why are they not allowed to get crazy? Because for the last 3 years before this year, right, the Bulldogs came 15th last year. They came 12th the year before that. And the year before that, they came last. Right, so the last 3 years has been a real big struggle. Now, I do get, you go back 10 years ago, the Dogs won the grand final. They got whooped by the Rabbitohs. And 2 years before that, they played the Storm. And they obviously lost to the Storm. So their history is not actually as bad as a few other clubs, right? Like a Tigers or a Titans or a Warriors or all these kind of teams, yeah? Maybe the Warriors are different, but they had one good year, right? And then obviously the 2011, that was 13, 14 years ago now. But last year was pretty good. But overall, I'd still say the Warriors have been a harder team to support than the Dogs. But the Dogs have been really, really poor for a few years. So I said the same thing with the Titans, and the Tigers, and the Warriors, and the Knights and all that. When you get your moment to celebrate. There is nothing stopping you from celebrating. And you're going to have the outside noise of outside teams who some will be jealous, and then some will also come from it like acting like you've been here before. Like a Storm, like a Roosters, like a Panthers nowadays. Broncos fans like to wank on about it, but it's like, besides the grand final last year, what have you done since the Titans come into the comp 17 years ago? So there are going to be different kind of viewpoints, and then you're going to get like your Eels fans and whatnot, who are your big rivals or Manly, and they're just going to hate you regardless, you know what I'm saying? So you're going to get those 3 different viewpoints. The issue is when like people just don't understand why the crowd and the club is so fanatical about their success right now. Because as we currently speak, you go onto the ladder, they are 5th position, and Bulldogs fans, just from a Titans fans perspective, we can actually both help each other out this weekend. If the Titans beat the Sharks and the Dogs beat the Dragons, that will give us a good chance to jump them next week. But also, that gives you a chance to jump the Sharks this week. So we're friends this week. Doggies fans. Anyway, what the matter is that they are in a good position to make the 8 this year. And they are in a good position going forward long term. You are allowed to support your team. As long as it's not aggressive, you are allowed to support your team, get passionate, get loud, start doing horns to the streets. I will say, Eels fans, a couple of years ago when we saw how that happened, and it is very early. I will tell you, you are very early to celebrate here, right? This could all bite you really hard, and you will cop it from the opposition fan base. But until that happens, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit what anyone else has to say? Come together as your community. When people tell Titans fans they can't celebrate because they beat the Broncos or, all these poor teams recently or whatnot, give a shit what you have to say. I'm going to celebrate with my community because I'm looking around and I'm seeing people that I've known for 15, 16, 17, 18 years, and they're smiling for once. They're smiling for once. Whether they're left or they're right, they're behind me. They're smiling. I see them online. I see them in person. They're smiling. And that's all I want. And that goes for every team. If you're a supporter of whoever you support, celebrate with your community when you get the chance. Because it doesn't always come around. And then deal with the sad moments and the bullshit moments when they are there. But until then, Bulldogs fans, you are entitled and allowed to celebrate like crazy in the streets of Belmore, in the streets of Sydney, wherever you want, yeah? You are allowed to do that. Because at the end of the day, ignore the outside noise. It's all about your club. It's all about your fans. It's all about your community. The struggles your community has gone through to where you are now. But always keep in your mind, though, that if you do go hard and you do go early, there is always that chance you get really, really brought back in, yeah? When the time comes that you do get knocked out. So, what I have to say here is from my end, I will never see anything wrong with anyone celebrating at any point. If you celebrate like this in round 2, okay, that's a bit stupid. But we are getting to the back end of the year, folks. We do only have about 4 or 5 weeks to go. And most teams, like your Roosters, your Panthers, your Storm and that, and I would even go as far to say teams like the Sharks and Manly and all this jazz don't understand how significant just being in the finals is. It's not necessarily about winning it. That's the ultimate goal. But just being in the finals is something that a lot of teams haven't been able to say for a long time and aren't on a consistent level, and is something to aspire to. You always have to have something to aspire to. When I was talking about my story the other day, it was great because Kieran Foran understood it as well, really, really well, is that it's all about being in the conversation. You just want to have a team in the conversation. You just want to have a team that is put amongst the chat, especially when you're a team that has struggled for so long. You just want to be a part of the conversation. And I'll tell you right now, the teams that are not a part of the conversation at the moment are the Tigers, the Eels, the Rabbitohs, the Broncos, the Warriors. Knights up, I would even probably take out the Knights. Titans up are a part of the conversation of finals. I guess you could argue Knights. So I wouldn't say Warriors, Broncos, Rabbitohs, Eels, or Tigers are now. But Knights, maybe. Titans, yes. Upwards are all in the conversation. And teams that would appreciate that are Dogs, are Knights, are Titans, are Raiders, are Dolphins for sure. Definitely the Dragons too. You know, the other teams are pretty much used to it. So to make it understandable there for those bigger time teams, we're going to celebrate. We're going to fire up. And we're going to do what we want. Because at the end of the day, we love our club, we love our community. And what you have to say about how I'm carrying on about my team, I don't care. Bulldogs fans, party it up. Celebrate, because it might not last long. It might not. But party nonetheless. Alright guys, I appreciate you. If you like these kind of chat videos, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another one. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.